makeup lovers, how are you guys doing today? So I am super excited for this video because I'm going to be talking about all the new indie makeup releases from the past week or so and my personal opinions on them. So if you want to hear that, then let's just go ahead and jump on in. Wait, actually, let me say this real quick. I forget to mention this sometimes, but I always have it linked in the description box that this series was inspired by Samantha March and Angelica Nyquist, and I also use a few different Instagram accounts, which I'll have linked down below for you guys to check out because I definitely recommend them so you can see all of the new makeup releases as they release and see the updates because I feel like it's just a lot of fun. So now let's go ahead and jump on in. Alright, so last week we played the challenge of getting this video done when my phone was at 15%, and this week I decided to kick it up a notch and now it is at 11%. So the very first product I want to talk about is from Slayve Cosmetics, and this is beautiful. It is their Autumn Equinox palette. It is just stunning. I love the color scheme. I love the names of the colors. I feel like it is just so fall and I'm so excited to get it and start creating looks with it. This is going to be available for purchase for me tomorrow, so for you guys that'll have been 2 days ago. I'm not sure if it'll still be available, but if it is, I will have it linked down below. And I just think it's really beautiful and I'm very excited to get my hands on it. I believe it's going to retail for $35. I think I read that somewhere, so not a bad price for 9 shades. And the packaging is really beautiful, so if you guys want to see a review on that, definitely let me know. And they actually revealed that they're coming out with a highlighter at the same time, and I'm kind of tempted to get this. I'm not sure how well it's going to work for my skin tone, but the name of this highlighter is Ames and my name is Amy, so I grew up always being called Aimless or Ames. So those are my two nicknames. I mean, it's kind of funny that my nicknames are longer than my actual name, but I just thought it was kind of funny because that is one of my nicknames. So I don't know, it's really pretty. It has lots of different little colors in it. Like I said, I don't know if it's going to work for me, but I think it would even be a pretty like eyeshadow. So we shall see if it ends up in my cart or not. I feel like this week, was I better this week? What did I buy this week? I bought something small from Glo Cosmetics because it was on sale. I think that's all I bought this week. I've been good. Dang, go Amy. Oh wait, actually I did make a small purchase from Klarity Cosmetics as well because they had a sale and I wanted to try more of their liquid lipsticks. That is all, only 2, and they were both good sales. So, okay, next actually we can talk about this eyeshadow that just released from Klarity Cosmetics, and it is called Purple Rain. This is really beautiful. I just hit 10%, but this is stunning and the pigmentation looks beautiful. I definitely want to try some of Klarity's single eyeshadows. I actually did not realize that they had single eyeshadows, but the pigmentation looks stunning. I love like that purpley with like the pink background. I feel like that'd be a really pretty shade to just blend all over. So that's really beautiful. Alright, and then I'm not sure how to pronounce this. It depends on if they're Spanish or not because there's a double L and it could be La or it could be Ya. So Millas Cosmetics or Mia's Cosmetics, one of those two. I'll have everything in the description box. Showed their Lost in Space palette. It's now available for pre-order. I think this is pretty. I love that it has holographic packaging, but I feel like, I mean, it's pretty, but because of the size of my collection, I feel like there's no real like wow factor here. Like I have to have it. Like, I mean, it's a pretty like mix of different rainbow shades and neutrals, and there's just 2 shimmers. Everything else is matte, so I think it looks nice, but it's not something I like feel the urge to buy. However, I will say something that I do have the urge to buy and I really wish I didn't. So Dose of Colors is coming out with their second collection with Desi and Katy, which I'm so excited for them because I feel like they're really genuine people and I'm just, you know, I'm happy to support them. And I bought quite a few things from the original collection, and I feel like there's not as much as I want from the new one because they came back with Fuego, which I already have and it's too dark for me. They came out with another one called Chasing the Sun, which I know would be too dark for me, and they came out with a few different lipsticks, and 2 are like velvet formula, which I'm like, I love the original Dose of Colors liquid lipstick formula, so when they said they did a different one, I was like no thank you. They did some regular like tube lipsticks, which those I kind of want a little bit. They're kind of, I kind of want them. They came out with lip glosses, which I don't want the lip glosses. I already have Over the Top and it's really gritty. If you don't like gritty glosses, I would not recommend those because I have tons of other ones that have like a similar glitter effect, but without feeling like sand on your lips. I don't like that feeling. However, the one thing that I am kind of toying over getting is the Friendcation palette. I love the packaging. It's kind of the same thing as their original, which is kind of funny because when the original packaging came out, everyone was like, oh, this is so beautiful. This is the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. And now I see people commenting for the second round. They're like, the packaging is so boring and blah. And I'm like, but it's the same thing. So this is supposed to have everything you need. It has a couple different matte shades and it has shimmers. Honestly, I could do without the mattes and just have the shimmers. I think the shimmers look stunning. The swatches are beautiful and they look very similar. Like formula looks similar to the Block Party eyeshadows. So the problem for me is that I have the original Desi x Katy eyeshadow palette and I never use it. I never reach for it. So I'm like, how can I possibly justify buying this one when I know that there's only a few shades in there that I would really reach for, if I'm being super honest with myself. So I don't know yet. You guys will have to tell me your thoughts on that release. Okay, I'm going to talk to you guys about this eyeshadow, and I don't think that it's really new, but it is something new to me that I found recently. And this is from Enchanted Lustre Cosmetics, and they are based out of Australia. So the downside is that, like, if you're not in Australia, the shipping is really expensive. It's like $20, or maybe it was 15. It was somewhere around there. So I mean, it could be worse, but worse. But I feel like in order to justify making a purchase, I'd want to make a big purchase and not just buy one eyeshadow, even though this is the one that I'm like, that's what I really want. So this is the shade Seoul Prism, and I mean, it'll be on screen, you guys can see it. It is just stunning. It's a trichrome pressed eyeshadow, and it like has like a mix of like blue and green and like purple, and it just like, it's just stunning. It looks like 3D, honestly. It looks so beautiful. So this eyeshadow, like, I saw it and it literally stopped me in my tracks. I was like, that is stunning. They actually have quite a few different trichrome eyeshadows, and it says they're 15 Australian dollars, and I think when I put it in my Etsy in the US dollars, it might have been like around like $11 each. So not horrible. I know a lot of companies that come out with these kind of eyeshadows, the prices are a little bit higher, so I just figured I would mention it for you guys. I think it's beautiful. I want it. Another little sneak peek. This is from Emme Cosmetics, and they said that they're having a new fall palette coming soon, and they did a swatch with a peacock, which is really pretty, and then they did also do a like, little swatch video with leaves, and I think that the shades are beautiful. I don't know if it's something I'm going to pick up yet. I'm like looking, but I feel like I have to actually see the palette like together to decide instead of just seeing like little tiny swatches. So the next release I have to talk about is from Sunflower Glo Cosmetics, and I just wanted to show you they have a new palette coming out, and they have revealed 7 of the 12 eyeshadows so far. And I think this is really funny because everything is like, the imprint is like a sunflower, but I had someone comment and they said, I don't care if I sound like a 12-year-old boy. Every time I look at these eyeshadows, all I see is nipples. And I mean, I see it. I do see it. And now that it's been pointed out to me, I can't unsee it. So I thought that was really funny, but I think that the imprint is really pretty when you're looking at it as a sunflower. The colors so far don't really speak to me. They're just, I mean, it's like a mix of like different colors of like golden and pinky rose gold neutrals, so it's probably going to be a pass for me, but I figured I would mention it for y'all in case any of you guys like those kind of colors. And then another sneak peek, this is from Glam Light. They're coming out with a new palette, and they said that it is something like super special to them, so I'm very excited to see the story behind this palette. And they've got all the different colors so far. I can see like berries and like a pink shade and like 2 different yellows. It looks beautiful. I am affiliated with Glam Light, and I have a code which is Amy Loves, and I really I actually need to pick up the palette that they just came out with, but I'm like overwhelmed, so I'm just giving it a little bit. But this looks really beautiful as well. Really beautiful. I also wanted to mention that Blush Tribe is coming out with some glitter adhesive, or their adhesive for their pigments, and the packaging literally looks the exact same as the NYX glitter glue, so I'm curious to see the formula on that. And then they are also coming out with a brush set, which I think they revealed the full thing now, which is kind of a pass for me because the last thing I need is any more brushes. You guys don't even want to know, I have a box like this big full of new brushes, and I'm like, I am not allowed to open any of these until I do a brush declutter because I have so many brushes. I've been buying brushes since I first started doing makeup, so I have so many that I don't like, and I kept using them because it was what I had, and they've just stayed in my collection. So I'm like, I'm not allowed to use any of these new goodies until I declutter. So, and I totally almost skipped over this really, really exciting sneak peek. So this is from Juvia's Place, and they showed this on their Facebook group, which is called Juvia's Tribe, which I'm so glad that I'm a part of now, because I had a subscriber send this to me, so thank you so much for being my informant. But this is going to be a the Tribe palette, and I'm curious if it's going to be eyeshadows. I'm assuming eyeshadows. I love the packaging, and then they also have two what do I call it, loose highlighters. Sorry, geez, I cannot speak. They have two loose highlighters coming out, so I'm very, very excited to see the inside. The packaging is beautiful as always. Another thing that I'm super excited about is a new palette coming from Divina Cosmetics. Very, very excited for this. They said they're an Anodite Harmony collection coming October. You can see the different shades in here. It's like a mix of oranges, yellows, and reds. I live for those tones. I don't know if I'll be able to justify it because I already have so many of those kind of colors, but I'm very excited. Divina Cosmetics does Harmony collections, and it's like kind of monochromatic, which I love. I love monochromatic palettes. They have always just spoken to me, and I feel like brands don't do them enough. I feel like that's going to be a trend coming up soon, because we saw it, we're seeing it with, like, you know, with Divina, and we saw it with Huda Beauty, and like the amount of people who liked it. And I mean, I've done a few different like my perfect whatever palettes, and I've always wanted to do those kind of like for each color, because that's just like the way I think in my head. I just love all of it just fitting together. They asked recently like what kind of shades you want to see, and I personally said I would love to see something like with like grungy greens and khakis and like really warm, like dirty golden shades and oranges and like mustard browns. I thought that would be really, really beautiful and all around really cool palette. There's a few things on the market kind of similar to what I'm thinking of, but not quite hitting the mark. So that's personally what I would love to see. So next, here, let's see. Ooh, I'm very excited about this. So this is the little sneak peek from Luxy Beauty. They are coming out with a Temptation collection on the 1st of October, and there will be 7 shimmers and 6 mattes, and here are the 6 matte shades. You can see there's a dark purple, a dark red, a dark navy, a dark green, a bright orange, and a bright yellow. Super pigmented, like just saturated looking colors. I mean, I don't know if they're pigmented. I haven't swatched them, I haven't done anything, but I think that they look stunning. So I'm super, super excited for this. I love Luxy's formula. I think I own a lot more shimmers from them than mattes, but these look beautiful. They kind of remind me of the Colored Rain Vivid pigments, but those didn't work out for me as much. I'm kind of making them work and using one here or there, but they're really not my favorite eyeshadow formulation, and I would not recommend them. So, this is the Temptation collection, and it's tempting. Here, I'll mention this for you guys really quickly as well. This is from Give Me Glo Cosmetics, and this is their Money Moves quad, and I believe that these are all shades that they already have available. They just put them all together. That's what I think. I'm not sure. They've been doing a few different quads, and I don't think it's new shades necessarily, but I've been tagged in this so many times already. And I think it's beautiful. I really do. I like the shades, but I can tell you right now I could dupe all those in like a matter of seconds with my Sydney Grace Cosmetics eyeshadows. So I feel like I don't really need them. I think the most unique is like the gunmetal-y green shade. I think that's really beautiful, and this is stunning. If you don't have a lot of greens, I think it would be a nice little quad to add, but not necessarily something I need to pick up, although I do want to do a like make my own quad out of their eyeshadows. Something else I'm very excited about is from Nomad Cosmetics. I have their Antilles palette, which I did a bunch of videos on, and I really, really loved. I thought it was beautiful. I really need to pick it up and play with it some more, but they're such a cool brand. I feel like they deserve so much more hype. They talk about, or sorry, they do collections based off of different destinations, and so they decided to do Berlin Underground for their next one. And I think it's really cool, just everything that it represents, and talking about the history, like, of the Berlin Wall. My dad actually has a little tiny piece of the Berlin Wall. Well, I'm sure a lot of people do, but I just think it's really, really cool, and I just love that, like, adding, like, the history and the, like, I don't know what to call it, like, the worldliness and the makeup all together. So you guys can see there's a little sneak peek so far. It looks like there's a, like, lighter shade, a teal shade, and a golden shade. And then, like, the packaging looks really cool, like just a dark shade for, like, where the eyeshadows are, but then the flap where it looks like there might be a mirror. I just like the different print you can see so far. I don't know, I'm really excited about this. I'm excited to see the whole thing, to see if it's a really cool, interesting color story. I'm just very excited. I love a good, thought out, intelligent release. So alright, so I'm currently on 5%, and I think that's all, like, the super indie based focused stuff I wanted to talk about today. I'm sorry if this video isn't as long as normal. I'm, like, rushing because I have to, well, I'm going on a trip tomorrow. I'm gonna bring my laptop with me so I can edit at some point during one of my son's naps, so that this video will be up on Sunday like it normally is. So hopefully, I'm hoping that for myself I will not talk as much and it won't be as long of a video. But I'm just gonna hop on over to Trendmood really quickly and talk about some releases that are more mainstream, in case you guys are curious about my opinion on them. So let's talk about this first. Nikki Tutorials came out with a highlighter with Maybelline, and I saw a lot of hatred on the comments for this, but I was kind of like, that's really cool. Like, I think it's awesome. Like, she's done quite a few highlighter collaborations with Ofra, which is a bit more on the high-end side, unless you have, you know, a good deal. So it's nice to see her doing something drugstore. I feel like a lot of people will be able to get it, and I think the shade looks stunning. Personally, this is something I would buy if it was cruelty-free, but it's not, so it's a pass. So Kylie Cosmetics is doing a collaboration with, like, Kylie's best friend Jordan, and they have a whole collection. And I've heard other people say this before, and I've kind of adopted the same thought process, that with collabs, when it's a person, I mean, of course I'm going to speak my honest opinion, but I try not to judge it as harshly, because it's, you know, when people do a collaboration with a brand, they want to do something that they love, that fits their makeup style, that will, you know, that something they'll use every day. Like, just for example, I mean, I think you guys will agree with me, if I went up to a brand and I, like, wanted to make a palette that I would use every day, that I would love, that, like, was everything I wanted, and they gave me, like, all, like, you need to have this because it will sell, you need to have this because it will sell, it has to have this, or whatever, or, you know, just kind of not letting me be uniquely myself in a palette, I think that would be really disheartening. So I kind of have, like, the same thought process flipping it around, that, you know, a lot of collaborations aren't going to be perfect for me. They're not going to be exactly what I would want, because they are so based around one person, which is fine. Like, that's like the whole beauty of collaborations. So I'm keeping that in mind when I look at this, and I don't hate it. It's definitely not something I would buy. I mean, I feel like something about it feels a little bit more unique. Like, I feel like it's got a little bit of, like, a touch of cool tones. It's got, like, I don't know, I kind of like it. It's not something I'm gonna pick up, but I don't hate it. I saw people saying, like, it's the same shades over and over again, but honestly, I don't feel like there's any other palette that I can look at and immediately see, like, this same kind of look. Like, it's got a lot of muted tones, but then, like, this bright purple and this rich plum, and a few different, like, shimmery shades, like a taupe, a silver, and a peach. So I think it's pretty. I do think it's pretty. My phone is at 4% and it's starting to get darker. Well, here's one. ColourPop Cosmetics is doing a new brow thing. There, it says their brows got a makeover. This is the third time they have redone their brow collection. That's all I'm saying. The third time. ColourPop is doing a Disney collection. First of all, my thought was like, heck yeah, like, go ColourPop for securing a collaboration with Disney. I think that's super cool. The palette is a pass for me. I don't need it. I just don't need it. I just don't need it. I really like princesses, but I don't need it. I do really want all of the lipsticks, because it's all the different princesses, and they're all the creme luxe lipstick formula, so I'm completely here for that. There's some lip glosses I'm like, I could live without it, but overall, the thing that stands out to me the absolute most is the Luxe lipsticks. Anastasia is releasing another palette. I feel like they've been releasing a lot lately. Like, I feel like Anastasia used to be one of those brands where it was like kind of calm and like they'd release something, it was like so much hype, and then it was like, you know, they take their like sweet time before they release something else, and now it's like I feel like every other day Anastasia is releasing something new. So they're releasing the Sultry palette, and the packaging, they are so great at marketing. The packaging is beautiful, stunning. I'm sure that 50% of the people who buy this palette are going to buy it for the packaging alone. They threw a red in there, that, I mean, sure, but this palette is just a cool tone smoky palette. I feel like everyone has these shades already. Everyone. That's all I can say. If I didn't own a cool tone palette, maybe it'd be something I was interested in. I personally love the Naked Smoky palette. I'm ride or die for that. Like, I do not wear cool tones very often. I think I've only used that palette like 5 times. I got it 50% off. But when I wear cool tones, I really, really love that palette. So this is just an all-around pass for me. So the second thing I have to say is that they're coming out with glitters. Okay, these are glitters that are loose, and they're $15 each. And I have already seen different influencers talking about these glitters like they are new revolutionary products. And I'm just like thinking to myself, like, so many indie brands have came out with such amazing glitters, pressed glitters, loose glitters, mixed glitter gels, like all kinds of things for way less, way more unique shades. And like now everyone's gonna be like, oh my gosh, Anastasia glitters. Like, I'm not buying into it. I'm not buying a single one. I'm not here for it. Like, no shade to them or anything, but seriously, I feel like if you want glitters, the indie makeup world is where it's at. I have quite a few from like Texas House of Glitters. I've seen Dear Katy Brown on Instagram. They have stunning glitters. I have some glitters from Pinky Rose. There's like full glitter. You can buy full glitter palettes for like $20, and you want to buy like one single for $15. Like, I'm not here for it. Becca and Chrissy Teigen are coming out with a third collaboration. Why? Alright, you guys, so that is everything I wanted to talk about today. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please don't forget to subscribe. I'm so happy to have you here. I love talking to you guys. I love commenting and just having conversations with y'all. Please let me know what your favorite product release was this week, or your least favorite. I just love hearing your opinions. So if you enjoyed, like I said, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.